Welcome back to the 7th episode of SPSS MasterClass for Beginners. Here we are breaking down the statistical analysis software known as SPSS. So in the last video, we discussed as to how can we calculate the one sample t-test in SPSS. Now I am going to show you how to calculate correlation in SPSS. We'll focus on Pearson's R, but all the other correlations are done in the similar fashion. So let's jump into the 7th episode of SPSS Masterclass for Beginners. Hey guys, my name is Shardul, hailing from ShaVash tutorials and creator of ShaVash.co.in. I'm also a junior research fellow at the Indian Institute of Information Technology, Allahabad. Before we begin the masterclass, if you are interested in any talk product, software or language, be it for coding or research purposes, then be sure to subscribe by clicking the red subscribe button on this channel and also the bell icon next to it so that you never miss an update. Also, there's a complete playlist of the masterclass in the description so that you can go to the other videos when you're done with this one. Just click on the link and it will take you to the complete playlist. So, just reviewing on Pearson R, it describes the relationship between two continuous variables. It ranges between -1 and +1, where -1 means perfectly inverse relationship, +1 means perfectly direct relationship, and 0 means that there is no relationship at all. Anything between 0 and 1 means varying degree of positive relationships, and between 0 and -1 mean varying degrees of negative relationship. So let's go back to the data that we have been using in our previous videos. You can download the dataset from our description below so that you can follow along with me. It is saved under the file name episode7data.sav. So as you can see, we have made some changes to our previous data. We have added performance scores of the participants. It is a hypothetical data. It is measured out of 100 and measures the score of the sport that they were performing. We are interested in the relationship between height and performance of the participants. We need to remember that these are not 20 different data points, but 10 pairs of data points. Because they are pairs of data of one participant, thus shuffling one without the other would completely negate the meaning of the data. We can also see that we do not have scores for the 3 of the participants. When computing the correlation, they would be by default left out of the analysis because SPSS would ignore the missing data points. After that, it is relatively easy to find the Pearson correlation. Let's find out how. We'll go to Analyze, Correlate, and since we are finding the correlation between two variables, thus we'll select Bivariate. In the window that has popped up, all the variables on the left are the variables in the data, and we just have to move our variables of interest to the right. Let's move them to the right, first height and then performance. It is important to know that more than 2 variables can be correlated here, but the correlation will happen with only 2 at a time. Now let's keep Pearson checked as that is what we are computing, and let's keep it two-tailed in order to get a broader output. Let's also keep flag significant correlation checked for an easier understanding. Then you just have to click OK to run the analyses. The output window has popped up. The table that is being shown here is called the correlation matrix. This shows the correlation coefficient of every combination of variables. We have 2 rows, one for the height and one for the performance, and similarly we have 2 columns, one for the height and the other for performance. Where these rows and columns meet is the correlation coefficient between the 2 variables. We can then see the significance level or p-value and then the n, which is the number of pairs of score. So in the left top side, we see the correlation between height and itself. Because it's exactly the same thing, hence we have a perfect correlation, and hence the value 1. Similarly, the bottom right also has a perfect correlation because it is the relationship between performance with itself. This is because SPSS measures each combination of variables, including the relationships with themselves. The relationship that we are actually interested in is between height and performance. Also to notice that the relationship between height and performance and height are exactly the same. What it is showing is that the correlation is very high, that is 0.969. Then we have the significance level or p-value, which is also very small. It is significantly less than 0.05 and even 0.01 that we usually check with. Any significance value less than 0.05 means that the correlation is significant, and hence the flag, the 2 asterisks, which reads that the correlation is significant at 0.01 level two-tailed test. So this analysis basically means that there is a strong positive correlation between the heights and the performance of sports of the participant. It is also statistically significant. So yeah, that's basically how it's done. So that right there is how you calculate the correlation in SPSS. In the next video, we will explore how to do regression in SPSS in order to predict one variable from the other. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you do not miss the next video of the SPSS Masterclass series. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Masterclass series.